These are the exercises for Futato Chapter 19. We're beginning with 19b. 19a can be explained with the answer key. So translate plural suffixes. Again, in this chapter we had both singular and plural suffixes that go on plural nouns. Okay? And in chapter 16 we had singular and plural suffixes that went on singular nouns. So again, we need to try to keep the terminology straight here. So number one, sus av. Again, you have to recognize the suffix. Again, any suffix that has the yod in it, and all these do, will tell you that the noun needs to be translated plural, but the suffix itself might be singular or plural, depending on which set it was that you were to have memorized. So susav is his horses. The ending is third masculine singular. Sus achem. The suffix ending is second masculine plural. So your plural horses. Sus enu. The suffix there is first common plural. So it would be our horses. For sus ahem. The suffix there is third masculine plural. On, again, or marking, dictating a plural noun. So it would be their horses. Again, you see how the suffixes, the first one is a singular suffix, but it's on a plural noun. The rest are plural suffixes, marking plural nouns. Number 5, sus eka. It's a suffix that marks a plural noun. Again, look, the yod is in all of these, so sus eka would be your horses. The your here would be singular your. Again, you have to memorize the forms. Sus I, my horses. Sus aik, your, in this case feminine singular, your horses. And sus eha, her horses. Number 9, avdechem, your, masculine plural. Servants, we have nafshotechem, their souls. Zehavenu, our gold. Gold is kind of a collective noun, even though the suffix would tell you that the noun should be translated plural, but our golds don't make any sense, so it's one of those collective nouns. And devarav, his words. Number 13, we have mishpatecha, your judgments. We have avot aik, your fathers. Number 15, mechomotai, my places. And then yadav, his hands. Again, the nouns are all plural, but the suffixes may be singular or plural. Again, it's just the form of the suffix marks the noun as a plural, or in the case of chapter 16 earlier, the form of the suffix marked the noun as a singular. So, section C, translation. Baniti et mizbechotecha. So, our verb form, first position, baniti. Do we have a prefix? No, we don't. We know the T ending is first common singular, and it's perfect because it's not imperfect. We don't have a prefix. So, baniti. And what's the lemma then? It would be from bana. Remember, the third hey, the hey in a third hey verb before a suffix with a consonant like T will change to a yod. So I built, and then direct object marker, and then we have altars plus a suffix. And again, the suffix echa is going to dictate our translation of this noun. But of course, we could tell by the form here, mizbechot, it's feminine plural. So I built your altars. Natanu is from Natan with the common plural perfect ending. So we have a plural verb form in the perfect. Do we have a noun, a stated noun? to be its subject? Well, here we have avotenu, so our fathers, plural. Our fathers, and that's the subject of the verb, the plural verb form, gave, then ate hakesef, gave the money. We have darashtem, number 3. Our first word is a verb. Do we have a prefix? No. We have tem. That's a dead giveaway again for second masculine plural perfect ending. And that's what we have here. You, plural, sought. And then lelohim, for God. You sought for God. Bekol. And we have libotekem, with all. Bekol, with all. And then your hearts. Libot, again plural. And then we have a suffix that goes on the plural noun. With all your hearts. Number 4. Lachaku et hazahav el alrehem. Verb form. No prefix, so it's a suffixed form. It's a cal perfect, third common plural. So they took, direct object, the gold. Okay, they took the gold to Adrehem, their cities. Number 5. Chalakten ladarkeken hareshaim. So we have a verb form out front. Do we have a prefix? No. We have halak, okay, with a second plural feminine suffix. So we're going to have you, feminine plural, went, and then lamed, to your way, or ways. Again, we have to translate ways because the suffix tells us this is a plural noun, preposition plus plural noun, preposition, noun, suffix, right there. Hareshaim. So we have, the translation you can obviously see, on your wicked ways. That makes more sense than to your wicked ways. So the note here, halak plus lamed, is to go on, to keep going or something like that, to go on. But we have here a noun, your ways, and then we have hareshaim. Now, the adjective here is definite. It has a definite article. So you'll notice in the translation it has your wicked ways. You say, well, now, wait a minute. Don't the adjective and the noun have to agree in gender, number, and definiteness? How is this a definite noun? Well, it's definite because it has a suffix. In chapter 18, I made this comment in the exercises that, and again, I don't think Futato was necessarily terribly clear here, but when you have a noun and it takes a suffix, it makes the noun definite because it moves from being any old way or ways generically to your ways. It becomes definite, becomes more specific. So you went on your wicked ways. And that's what allows us to create or to translate this as an attributive relationship, noun, adjective. They're both definite because this one's definite because of the article. This one's definite because it has a suffix. And then lastly, we saw Sifreha, her books. That's an easy one. From Ra'ah, again, the last consonant of the lemma becoming a yod before the consonant ending. Parsing the following. Again, we'll go through our familiar procedures at this point, asking the same kind of questions. I just want to drill this and beat this into your head, really, about what to do when you encounter a verb. So we have ga'alu. Does it have a prefix? No. That means it can't be imperfect, so it's a cal perfect from ga'al. And of course, our ending here is going to tell us it is third common plural from ga'al. Next one, ta'amod. Do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. We have the tav prefix. We know it's a prefix because the next three consonants are a coherent lemma, amad. And so we have the tav prefix. There's no ending, which that means it could be two things. It could be cal imperfect third feminine singular or cal imperfect second masculine singular. Number 3, we have esa. Do we have a prefix? Well, let's think about it. We could. Aleph is one of those consonants, could be a prefix. if it's a prefix, what would our lemma be? Well, boy, we don't have anything with just two consonants here, the sin plus the aleph. But no, wait a minute, we have a dagesh in that sin, and that should tip us off. The dagesh is there to mark the assimilation of an original noon, first noon that assimilated into the next consonant. So our lemma is nasa, and that would mean that aleph here is indeed a prefix. It's an imperfect prefix, and it can only be first common singular. Okay, cal imperfect first common singular from nasa. Number 4, bekitem. We have no prefix. Again, bet is not a prefix consonant for verb forms. And so we have no prefix. Tem tells us it's second masculine plural, so it has to be perfect. Cal perfect second masculine plural from baka. Again, before a consonant ending, the third hey of a third hey lemma will change to a yod right there. Number 5, yukal. Do we have a prefix? Yod, well, it could be a prefix. It's one of the right consonants. But that would leave us with vav, kaf, lamed. Do we have that in our vocabulary? Well, no, we don't. We don't have it like that. But remember from this chapter, okay, or I should say, the whole thing about first yod verbs, the chapter about first yod verbs. Remember that some first yod verbs, chapter 18, originally were spelled with a vav in the first position. So really, the yod here is a prefix, and our lemma is a first yod verb. It's just that old Semitic antiquated spelling, so to speak, comes back in this form. And so we have a third masculine singular, cal imperfect, from yakal, even though the consonants we're looking at here begins with vav, right there. It's still from yakal. Number 6, nomar. So do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. We know that because the next 3 consonants are a coherent lemma. A noon prefix can only be first common plural. So we have cal imperfect, first common plural from amar. Number 7, we have ta'asu. Okay, do we have a prefix? Well, actually we do. We don't have a lemma ta'as. We have a prefix right here, and we would know that again if we had a really solid knowledge of our vocabulary, because what we have here as for a lemma is asa. So we have a third hey verb form where the final hey has dropped off, and we have a prefix, tav prefix with a long u ending, which means that we have to have a cal imperfect second masculine plural from, again, asa. Next one is kaved. Do we have a prefix? Obviously we do not. We don't have any suffix either, so we know we have a third masculine singular perfect form, cal, and it has to be from kavad, that lemma. Yakol ta. Do we have a prefix? Well, actually we don't here. And we have a couple of giveaways. One is the ta ending. That's a dead giveaway for a second masculine singular perfect ending. So that would dictate that the yod here of our verb form is not a prefix. And yakal, or yakol, as it were, is a coherent lemma on its own. So based on those two things, what we have is a cal perfect second masculine singular from yakal or yakol, as the lemma was given to you by Futato. Lastly, we have teshvi. So do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. We have tav with tsera. That must be an imperfect prefix. So that means our lemma is a first yod lemma, which means the lemma here is yashav. And then we have a hierik yod ending. So tav prefix with a hierik yod ending is going to be cal imperfect second feminine singular, and again the lemma is yashav. Translating weak roots, we'll go through these quickly. Again, it's just basically you parse it and then you translate it. So number 1, bara ti. Obviously there's no prefix. The lemma is bara. Ti is first common singular ending. So I created. Number 2, we have yig'u. Do we have a prefix here? The yod is in fact a prefix, and we can tell that. Again, if we know our vocabulary, we know this is from naga, but it's probably more reasonable to think that you look at this form and you see the dagesh in the gimel after a full vowel sound, and you'd think, okay, that dagesh should not be there, so that must be noon assimilation, and you'd be correct. It's from naga. So we have a prefix yod with a long u ending. That's third masculine plural cal imperfect. So they will touch. Number 3, we have lo. So we have a negator. Lo asitem. We look at the verb form. We do not have a prefix, so it can't be imperfect. It must be perfect. And tem is the dead giveaway for second masculine plural. Cal perfect, so we would translate this, you did not make. Number 4, neda. Do we have a prefix noon here? It's one of the possible consonants. We do, because there's a tsera with it, a tsera vowel. So that means this is a prefix, cal imperfect, and our original lemma would be yada, to know. So our translation would be, we will know. Number 5, bani nu. No prefix. We have the nu suffix ending, and we know it's a perfect because it's not an imperfect. There's no prefix. So that means our lemma, bet nun yod. Well, again, if we know our vocabulary, again, we're keeping up with things. The lemma here is bana, third hey verb. And again, the third hey will change to a yod before the consonantal ending. So our translation is we built. Tokal is pretty easy, obvious prefix. We know it's a prefix because the next 3 consonants are a coherent lemma. Could be either she or you will eat. Number 7, lo ya'aleh. Let's look at our verb form. Do we have a prefix? We do. We know that because the next 3 consonants, Allah, are a coherent lemma. And again, no ending, so we have third masculine singular cal imperfect that's negated. So he will not go up. And then tisa, this one's a little more difficult, but you look at it. Is the tav here a prefix? It actually is. The tip-off is the dagesh in the second consonant. That would speak to noon assimilation. So our lemma, nasa, we know that from our vocabulary. So we have a cal imperfect, and it could be, again, either she or you, third singular or second masculine singular, third feminine singular or second masculine singular. She or you will raise. Number 9, yomaru. Do we have a prefix? Very obvious, we do, from amar. Prefix yod with long u ending is third masculine plural cal imperfect. So they will say. Number 10, we have negator, lo. Elaid. Is the aleph here a prefix? Yes, it is, because it's partnered with tsera. So that tells us our lemma is an original first yod. So the lemma would be yalad. And we have an aleph as cal imperfect prefix. That means it can only be first common singular. So I will not bear, again, children. Number 11, lo netatem. Tem, again, dead giveaway for second masculine plural perfect, which then would suggest that this noon is not a prefix, and it's not. The only question is, what's the lemma? Okay, we have a dagesh here. Speaks to the assimilation of the final noon in our lemma natan, final noon assimilating into the suffix ending. So you, plural, did not give. Nukal, is the noon here a prefix? Well, yes it is. Okay, we know that because if we consider it a prefix, then we have vav, kaf, lamed. You say, well, I don't have that in my vocabulary. Well, actually you do. You have yakal or yakol. And again, you just need to remember that some first yod verbs, again, originally were first vav verbs. And with this particular verb, yakol, that comes back into the picture. And so if the noon is a prefix, it can only be first common plural. So we will be able. Number 13, yivke. Is the yod a prefix? It is, because the next three consonants are a discernible lemma, baka. So we have he will weep. It's third masculine singular form. Number 14, we have negator lo, and then nir'a. So is the noon a prefix? Yes, it is. We know that because the next three consonants are a coherent lemma. Noon prefix can only be first common plural. So we will not fear. And number 15, bara, no prefix, no suffix. Bara, we know from our vocabulary as a coherent lemma, it has to be third masculine singular perfect. He created. Translation. We have Yetzu, Tzivotenu, La Milchama Ha-Gedolah. So a verb form out front here, again, is the yod in our verb form a prefix? Yes, it is. We know that because of tzera. So the lemma would be yatsa, yod prefix, long u ending is third masculine plural. So we have we will go out, but maybe it's not we will go out. Maybe there's a noun that can function as the subject. And in this case, it is. We have tsevaot, or we have tzivot enu. So our, there's enu, there's that suffix ending. It has a yod in it, enu. That means we have to consider this plural. And of course, it's plural by form. Tsevaot would be the normal plural. So we have our armies, okay, will go out. Okay, they will go out would be the regular verb form, masculine plural. So they will go out. No, it's our armies will go out. La milchama hagedolah. So we have preposition and then milchama and then adjective. Well, we see here the patak with the dagesh. So we have a definite article here. So this is definite. And our adjective is definite, ha-gedolah. They're both feminine. So we have here adjective-noun agreement in gender, number, and definiteness. So to the great battle. Great battle, the great battle. Number 2. Na'aleh Behar Adonai Uvimkom Kodsho Neshev. So verb form, right out here. Do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. We know the noon is a prefix here because the next three consonants are a coherent lemma, Allah. So we, okay, if the noon is the prefix, cal imperfect noon can only be first common plural. So we will go up Behar into the mount of the Lord, the mountain of the Lord. And there's our conjunction. In, we have the preposition and then makom. So in place his holiness, in the place of his holiness. Well, we have here place, that's a noun. We have holiness or holy. Again, really holiness we have here with the suffix. So we've got sort of a construct relationship here again. This is definite because of the suffix. Remember, the suffix added to a noun is going to make it definite. So we have in the holy place of him is sort of an awkward literal way to take it. So in his holy place is better English. We will go up into the mountain of the Lord, and in his holy place, neshev. We have noon here. It is a prefix. We know that because of the tzera. Okay, so noon prefix, cal imperfect, noon, has to be first common plural, and the fact that it is a prefix tells us the original lemma is yashav, okay, to sit or to dwell or to live. So that's why we translate, we will live. So we will go up into the mountain of the Lord, and in his holy place we will live. We have here number 3, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'et ha'adam ve'et ha'olam behema. So part of this, if you're familiar with Genesis 1:1, is going to sound like that, is because part of it is. So in the beginning, we have bara Elohim. Bara is verb form, third masculine singular. Okay, it's cal perfect because there's no prefix here. Elohim, God, again with singular verb form. So in the beginning, God created. Et hashamayim, direct object. Hashamayim is the heavens. Conjunction, direct object marker. And the earth. Conjunction, direct object marker. Ha'adam. And the man, or collectively humanity. And then conjunction, direct object marker. Ha-behema. And the animals. Okay. Number 4, we have lo, ira, et, oyevai. We have lo, negator, ira, verb form. The aleph here, is it a prefix? Yes, it is, because the next 3 consonants are a coherent lemma. So I will not fear, and then et, direct object marker, and oyevai, we have oyev is our noun. I, again, is our suffix. So we have a suffix on a noun, and this is one of the suffixes that goes on plural nouns. So we translate oyev here, the other consonants, as a plural. So I will not fear my enemies. Okay, see how the suffix helped you there. Number 5, tirash bakar rav, vetson rav, me avicha. First word here is verb. Yarash is our lemma. We have a tav prefix. Again, we know it's a prefix because the next 3 consonants are a coherent lemma. So the tav, cal, imperfect, the tav prefix with no ending can either be third feminine singular or second masculine singular. Makes more sense to have it second masculine here. So you will inherit what? Bakar rav, cattle many, many cattle. Again, they agree in gender number definiteness. Again, there's no definite article here, so we're fine. They're both marked or unmarked the same way. So you will inherit many cattle. There's our conjunction. And tson rav, same situation here. Many sheep or many flocks. Me avika, from of father of you, from your father. Number 6, ele kohanecha akedoshim asher kara'u besefer hatorah. So we have a demonstrative, ele, these, and then we have kohanecha. And we have kohen here, that's going to be priest, but we have eka, then here's a suffix, and look at the form of the suffix. It tells us that I'm a suffix that goes on a plural noun. So this would be your priests. And we have here ha kedoshim. Again, adjectival, in this case, we have a definite article. So the adjective is definite, and the noun is definite. Why? Because it has a suffix. So really we have your holy priests. So these are your holy priests. Now it's not these holy priests, because we would have to have ele be definite. Again, remember, demonstrative pronouns are just like adjectives. They need to agree with their nouns in gender, number, and definiteness. Well, ele is not definite, and these other 2 elements are. So this one is sort of out of luck, and that means it's a predicative adjective. It's the predicative position. So that's why we translate these are. We supply the to be verb, the predicate there. These are your holy priests who, and then kara'u, who read, very simple verb form, it's not prefixed, it's third common plural, cal perfect. So who read besefer, in the book HaTorah, the book of the law. Number 7, ha'anashim, harashaim, hahem, yeredu el hayam. So ha'anashim, there's a noun that's definite, plural noun that's definite. And then we have an adjective. that's definite and plural. So we have an attributive relationship very clearly here. And look at this. We have ha'im come next. We have a demonstrative, again, functioning just like an adjective, and it's definite. So we have an attributive relationship between the first three words right here. So we have those wicked men, and then here's our verb form. You look at yeredu, and we ask again, is the yod a prefix? Yes, it is. How do we know? Because of the tsera, which means we have a cal imperfect, third masculine plural. That would make sense because our subject is those wicked men. And the lemma is a first yod lemma, yarad. Okay, we know that again because of the behavior, or the form, I should say, of this prefix with Sarah. So we have those wicked men will go down El to or into Hayam, the sea. Number 8, Re'item Be'enechem. We have Ushmatem Be'oznechem. So Ra'item, verb form. Is it prefixed? No, it's not. Tem is a dead giveaway that we have a perfect, a suffixed conjugation, and not an imperfect. So second masculine plural suffix, but that would mean what is the lemma? We have resh, aleph, yod. Well, we don't have that in our vocabulary. No, we don't. But we have ra'ah, third hey verb, and again, before a consonant suffix, the third hey will change to a yod. So that's what we have. We have a second masculine plural cal perfect from ra'ah. So we have you plural saw, be'enechem. With, there's a preposition, and then we have ayin. Okay, this is I, but plural. We know it's plural. We won't get confused because of our suffix echem. That's the form of a suffix that goes on a plural noun. So with your eyes, and so you saw with your eyes, and shematem. Tem, second masculine plural. Shema, clear lemma there, second masculine plural. So you saw with your eyes and you heard, you plural heard, be'oznechem, suffix plural noun, with your ears. Hebrew Bible excerpts. Number 1, V'chabayet asher baniti lishmecha. So we have what? We have and, there's our conjunction to begin, and habayet, and the house, relative pronoun asher, which, who, or that. Okay, baniti. Okay, if we know our vocabulary, we know this is a verb form. We have a T ending, which is a sure sign of the first common singular perfect. Okay, so it'd be from bana. Remember, third hey verb. The third hey will change to a yod before the consonant ending. So, and habayet, and the house which I built. What is this? Well, vocabulary. If we know our vocabulary really well, we know this is a lamed preposition. We know shem is a noun, and we know ekha is going to be a suffix ending. So we have, let's turn it on, and the house which I have built for your name. The last word here is for the name of you, for your name. Number 2, Yipalu tachat raglai. Verb form here. Do we have a prefix? Well, that's the right consonant. We don't get any help with the vowel here. You look at this, and you should be able to tell now this is going to be a yod prefix, and we're going to have this long U ending, third masculine plural. But what would the lemma be? Well, again, you got to look. Dagesh. Whenever, again, you see a dagesh after a full vowel sound, you should be thinking something assimilated in there. And in this case, in most cases, it's going to be a noon. So do we have a lemma nafal? Well, sure we do. It's to fall. So that's what we have here. We have they will fall, tachat, under, raglai, the feet of me. Okay, and the I suffix here is one of those that tells you that the noun needs to be translated plural, so my feet. Number 3, Ra'iti Elohim Panim El Panim. Ra'iti, And the T is a giveaway, first common singular, cal perfect, first common singular ending, which would make the lemma ra'ah. Again, here we have another third hey verb, ra'ah, where the hey changes to a yod before the consonant ending. So, I saw God, I saw Elohim, I saw God, panim el panim, face to face. And that's the end of the exercises for Futato chapter 19.